Shalom, brothers and sisters. So today I just really feel I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of encouragement in different videos because I think the body needs encouraging right now, and we'll get to that in other videos as to the why. But I want to start by going to Proverbs chapter 27. And you might think, wow, that's a bit of an odd choice for encouragement, but there's a few verses here I want to point out to you. So when you go to Proverbs 27, you might have heard this saying before if you move in Christian circles or part of your church or anything like that. In verse 17, it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend." That's the verse we know and that we use in the church and in ministry and things like that. Have like-minded Christian brothers or sisters that you get together with. You sharpen each other with the word of God. You help each other. You speak into each other's lives. You strengthen one another by helping each other. Iron sharpens iron. And we teach around that. There's so many ways you can teach and preach on this. But now what I want to do is I want to give you an alternative definition and explanation for the very next verse. Verse 18 says, "Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit. So he who waits on his master will be honored." Now, this is a very good and brilliant verse. This whole proverb chapter is made up of different good sayings, things you can meditate on and take away and learn from and apply to your life. Now, this one, the fig tree, is always connected to, and yes, you should all know this, Israel. So let's take it exactly at its worth, and that it's speaking to Israel here. Whoever keeps Israel will eat of its fruit. Right? Now, if we take the words here in this verse, whoever keeps is the word in Hebrew notzer. Notzer comes from the root natsar, and natsar can be translated to watch, whoever watches, guard, stand up for, be protective of, keep, observe, God's timepiece in the Middle East, preserve, stand up for them and make sure that you're covering them with prayer, and watchman. What? Watchman? Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit. So whoever's a watchman over Israel, whoever's guarding Israel, praying over Israel, observing Israel to see the prophetic significance of what's going on right now, will eat of its fruit. Now the fig tree, obviously, te'ena, from the root tina, means fig tree. And like I say, we very much always connect that in the Old Testament when it's spoken of to Israel and connected to the land of Israel. So it is really amazing here that you've got this connection, and it connects to watchmen. Now, to eat its fruit, would that not be learning more about our roots of our faith from Israel and understanding more, digging deeper into the Hebrew, which comes from Israel, finding the messages and the codes that God has put in there for our edification and strength and that extra meat we desire in this final time? That also is brought to us from Israel. And it comes from there. We're eating this fruit from there while we are correctly, biblically praying for them and supporting them and watching them and observing them and keeping our eye on them. Now, it doesn't stop there. Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit, which we've now covered. And then it says this, "So he who waits on his master will be honored." Now, who's waiting on a master right now? Us. We are waiting on our master, and we will be honored. So the Hebrew here for "so he who waits" is wesomer, from the root shamar, and it can be translated to keep, to watch, doorkeepers, gatekeepers, observed, pay attention, sentries, waiting, watchmen, and watching. We are waiting. We are sentries. We are guarding. We are watching and watchmen, waiting on our master while observing Israel at the same time, all the time, the fig tree, and keeping her and praying over her and watching over her at the same time, eating of her fruit in our lives whilst watching and waiting on God. And it says, will be honored. We'll be honored for waiting and watching. How does that make sense? How do we tie that in? Now, if you jump to 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, it says, finally, this is Paul speaking, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day, and not to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearing. There is a reward. Now, if we look again at that verse in Proverbs, we will be honored, rewarded. And that reward is that crown of righteousness which we will receive for eagerly awaiting his appearing, eagerly looking for that. All those who have loved his appearing will receive this crown of righteousness. So I hope that encourages you and strengthens you. And to all who are teaching, preaching, watchmen, guiding the flock, I want to bump you down in that same chapter in Proverbs. Verse 23 says, be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. Now I want to tell you here, us who are at the front line and teaching and preaching and ministering, I'm speaking to you with this exact verse. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. Watch over God's sheep. See to their well-being. See to the fact that they are fed correctly. See that they are kept from wolves and deception and destruction and snares and traps. Keep them safe. Keep them focused. Watch over them day and night. Cover them with prayer. Stand with them and run the race with them. Watch over your flocks that the Lord has given to you to tend. Attend to your herds. Your focus is looking after the Lord's flock. God bless and shalom.